Brother, hey dude, sorry you're sick. I was looking forward to your second lesson, but I will put a couple new things into this video. Your mom told me you want to learn Little Wing. That's a very noble goal. The intro, I feel like we need to be together because there's just so many notes. I want to help you kind of craft it and understand it, get it right. The chord progression, the basics of it, it's all bar chords, usually when played well. And I can give you that because that's fun and I think worth your time. You could do it alone, but otherwise, with the rest of it, I think I want to be in person with you. Anyhow, I started you last week on the major scale, and I told you that's the foundation for all Western harmony. And it is. That pattern you can hold, you can play that on all 6 strings. Today we're going to learn the natural minor scale, which is the counterpart to that. And the way that we think about new scales is we think about changing some parameter of the major scale. We don't think about a brand new set of scale concepts. So rather than playing 1, 2, 3 like that, we flatten the third, which means we lower it by 1/2 step. So now we play 1, 2, flat 3. Okay, so we're going to go through the scale that way. We're going to flatten the third, the 6, and the 7. So we're going to go 1, 2, flat 3. 4 and 5 are the same. 4, 5. Now the 6 has been lowered. Flat 6, 7's been lowered. Flat 7. Octave, that never changes, yeah? So it goes. Playing it is one thing, but memorizing the 3 parameters that change is huge. So you flatten the 3, 6, and 7. You can do the sliding scale, do the on-off, you can do the pull-off, you can even do that one we were doing last week, like. That's the natural minor. Everything can be done on all 6 strings except for the up-down that only works in certain keys. But still, practice principally in E. Now, last week we worked on this minor blues scale, or this minor scale that you already knew. Okay, today I want to do 2 things to this. Last week I separated out the tonics, which means the roots of the scale. So you're not just playing a random series like a pattern, you're playing a very musical and intentional series that starts on A, finishes on an A. And starts again on a middle A and goes to the high A. Okay, 2 things today. I want you to add a passing tone in each octave, which makes it a blues scale. First one's on the A string. Again. Gives a little more of a blues sound. On the next octave, it's on the G string. Okay, now just as importantly, I want you to take that, you can do it in E at the 12th fret. I call those 2 keys the primary pair. E and A are 2 of the best keys for guitarists. But I want you to play in the open position, and I tabbed this one out. I didn't tab out the A because it's so similar. And in open position, it just goes like this. Now I'm in E, of course, not A. This might be one of the most important scales in all of guitar playing. It's just that 2-octave minor blues scale in E. And then I gave you the active variant on that. So last week I gave you this in A. And I hope you practiced it. If you haven't practiced it much yet, do it now. Or do it this week. Hugely important. You can repeat that starting in E at the 12th fret. But to do an open position, the first octave you just do a series of hammer-ons. And then you do a slide with your middle finger. That note's in E, it's at the 5th fret, so we call it E5, and we reverse. Well, actually, you can do that same passage here that you did in A, and you reverse it. That's an E minor pentatonic 2 octaves, but I call that active because it has slides and hammer-ons in it. One more time. Except this little passage I call static because it's not moving. Hugely important E scales. And with the capo, you can move those different keys. If I capo 1, the same scale produces the key of F, because this is an F. If I capo at 2, it becomes, at 3, it becomes G minor, and A minor, and so forth. So guitar players are constantly using those 2 scales to play in different keys. So now, since it's capoed 1, I'm in F. Same pattern. And then this would be G, A, and so forth. Capoing takes some time to understand, so if that was confusing, don't sweat it. Okay, so those are your new scales. And then I want to reiterate some things about harmony and chords. So I hope you've learned your chord scales. Continue to work on those in E and A. 1, 4, and 5 are major, 2, 3, 6 are minor. And say the chords when you play them, Silas. E, F sharp minor, G sharp minor, etc. That's all from last week's lesson. But today I want to extract the most important information. That means the 1, the 4, and the 5. Those are the foundational chords of most music. The 1, the 4, and the 5. So when you're major, all 3 are major chords. So instead of playing this long sequence today in E, I'm going to extract the 3 major chords. 1, which is E, 4, which is A, 5, which is B. And now I'm going to play it in the most efficient way I can. E, A, B, A, E. This is the most crucial harmonic box you can learn on guitar, the 1, 4, 5 box. If I want to be in a sad key of E minor, I just make all 3 minor chords. E minor, A minor, B minor, A minor. Okay, back to major. So I want you to repeat that process in the keys of G and A. So let's do it in G. G, 1, 4, C, 5, D, 4, C, back to 1. You can contrast that with the same chords in open position. G, C. They sound good in open position, but it's not as clear how they're related spatially. Bar chords make the relationships much more clear. So again, 1, 4, 5, 4, 1. In G minor, it becomes 1, 4, 5, 4, 1. Finally, A major. A, E, no, sorry, A, D, E, D, A. So last week I had you going A, B minor, C sharp minor. Here's D, the 4. Here's E, the 5. So we're just isolating them, and we're starting with the more efficient A here. A, D, E, D, A. In the minor, it's A minor, D minor, E minor, D minor. So try writing little chord progressions in those 2 keys. You can play all major, all minor, or some combination of, and you can mix and match them to be creative. Okay, so that's the technical part of the lesson, and then, like I said, we can work on Little Wing together in the future, the intro and all the very detailed riffy stuff he does. But the progression itself is also cool, and it's in the key of G, but it has some emphasis on E minor, because it starts on the E minor. So it goes E minor, walking, G, through the clouds, A minor, circus smile, back to E, that's running round. B minor, same fret. Butterflies and zebras and moonbeams, fairy tales. That's all she ever thinks about. I'm riding with the wind. So let's talk about that. Most of it's pretty standard stuff. E minor is an A form minor bar chord, 7th fret. G major is 3rd fret, E form. A minor, 5th fret, E minor form, and then back to E minor. Now here we do a B minor at the 7th fret, E form, and then do a passing chord, which is a chord that fills in a whole step gap. So it goes B minor, B flat minor, very briefly to A. So it's butterflies and zebras and moonbeams. Now we go to C, A form, fairy tales, back to G, whole step down to F, back to C, and then up a whole step to D. Riding with the wind. So you can see the 1, 4, 5 box in G being used. He uses all of those chords a lot. So one last time. Walking through the clouds with a circus smile that's running around. Butterflies and zebras and fairy tales, that's all she ever thinks about. I'm riding with the wind. And then it repeats when I'm sad. All right, brother, that's it for this week. I'll send your mom a tab that you can print out. Later.